Okay, here's the back of our MPC 1000. Now right here we got a headphone jack. Get your headset out there. Got my headset, boom, ready to go. We plug it right in here. We got a headset plugged in. It's right to the point. Now we also have, for example, I got my cables right here in the back set up for us. We have our audio output. See that? I get my audio output in right there. And we also have an audio input. Let's say I'm gonna record some CD player, a little guitar player comes by and gets some guitar samples. That's our record input. We have left and right, of course, for that. We also can put a USB cable in there. Let me get a USB cable real quick. Okay, here we go. We've got our USB cable, and here it is right here. I'm gonna get my USB cable, pop it right in there, and now I can talk to my computer, my USB cable. That's kind of cool. We have our power. We can go off and on with our power switch right there. We can put our power adapter in. Let me get mine out. Here's mine right there. Put that in, power's ready to go. We can also use MIDI. I'm gonna MIDI up my keyboard. MIDI my keyboard in. And I'm gonna get a MIDI in from my keyboard. So this one is out, this one is in. That's the out, and that's the in jack. This is our brand new MPC 500. We have 12 pads on here. The familiar Q-Link section right here, of course, Q-Link button. We've got the main volume. This is our record volume. We're taking a sample in. You turn that up, and we're good to go. Of course, we have our pads. And by each one of these pads, there are like, for example, it says pad 10. And it says play loop. And on this side, it says sequence edit. These pads are not just pads for the drum machine, but they're also used as pads in conjunction with this mode button. You press the mode button, and then you're able to pick any mode you want to pick. You'll say, okay, I may want to use this MIDI sync mode. Well, the words are right over here in gold. You press it, and you're in MIDI sync mode. So the pads are a unique way we can use the pads, not just for making up our drum beat and assigning samples in our program, but also these pads are used for numeric values, also to go to certain pages and certain modes, and a great way for us to get around on our MPC 500. We also have our data wheel. This is our data wheel right here. These are our cursors. We can go back and forth. I'll go back to sequence, for example, and I can move the cursor, moves the little cursor here on the screen that you see that blinks back and forth, that little, see that part there? Right, blinks back and forth. We move the cursor around on our screen. So when we get to a point that it blinks and stays there, we can actually change that parameter. It may be bars, maybe just beats. We can change the tempo. So we move our cursor around, and it depends on what page we've selected here in our main window. Next, we have our full level button. That's right here. That's our full level. Click that button, and everything's at full level. And a little light lights up right there, as you can see. I'll turn it off, no light. Next, we have our 12 levels button. That's a really unique feature where we can select the sound, pick a sound in this machine, and we'll say we want that sound to have different pitches. We set it for tuning, we press yes. And the original pitch is still there. See that? So we selected the tuning, and the tuning is across all the pads. I hit it soft though, so I'll put full level up, and it's much louder. See that? So I'll turn it off there, and turn this off here. Once I turn that off, I'm back to where it's supposed to be at. Now these are also our pad bank buttons. Now the same sounds you're hearing right now, the sounds that come with our MPC 500. Now we've got bank A, B, C, and D. So that means in A, we could have 12 sounds. Pick B, now we have 12 more sounds. C, we got 12 sounds. D, we have 12 sounds. So possible of 12 sounds for each bank. So in all, we can have 48 sounds. 12, 12, 12, and 12, which is A, B, C, D. And of course, we got our bank state, which is A, B, C, and D, which you can see much more clearly right here. Now, we also have our tap tempo, note repeat, our track mute. Note repeat's a pretty simple thing. Track tempo is too. We have a tempo, we press this button, and we'll have the actual tempo of what the song is at. We can actually press that button, then tap on our pads, and it'll give us an idea of what tempo that is we tapped out. No repeat, mute. We have status also. Status button's real cool too also. Let me show you some other things here we have. Here's the mode, timing correction, our metronome. Press this down, we have numeric keys. We also have our source, which is our main source for our sequencing, I'll call this section here. It's actually our sequencing section. We have the main sequencer track. We have parameters. We have erase and load, shift. So locate buttons to go back and forth in a sequence or to an event. We have play start, record, overdub, stop, play. Okay, here's our display screen. Let me pan out a little bit more here. There you go. And here I've got my tap tempo. I can press this button down, and then we'll see here that it says hit pad in tempo. Hold the button down. That's the tempo I did. 1, 2. That's new tempo. Watch this. 1, 2. That's the new tempo. So you hold the button down, you hit pad in tempo, and it gives you the tempo that you want to use. Okay, next I want to show you the note repeat button here. Let's zoom in a little bit here. What do we got set up for us right now? Zoom out a little bit. That's my note repeat button right there. Get my pen out. That's note repeat. See that? I can hold it down, and you can hear it. It's doing in time to my quantized value, which is set right here. I'll zoom a little bit more. Zoom a little bit more. You can see a little better. And there we go. We got our quantized value. Now I'm gonna hold my note repeat button down. You can pick a sample to at the same time. Now I'll turn the data wheel. That's 8th note, 8th note triplet, 16th note, 16th 32nd notes, 6 note triplets, and 32nd notes all the way to off. See that? So we can repeat any note we want to repeat. We can pick any sound and repeat it by hitting a pad. That's how you can use no repeat on our MPC 500. Now next, we have our not tap tempo. Next we have our track mute. That's track mute right there. Here's how that works. Let's say I've got a track going on here, a song. I'll choose a sequence here. The sequence in our MPC 1000 demo. I can go to track mute, and I can, every time I hit a pad, I can mute something out. I'll zoom in somewhat, and you can see the M's right there. See that says like M there for muting, not muting? I'll press stop. Now that's for D. See it says D, that's for bank D. I'm gonna go to bank A. And now I'm gonna press play start. I'll hit a pad. See the M go there? M, and mute. And that's the first sequence. That's sequence 1. Track 1 in this sequence, rather. When I put that M in there, all the tracks are off. See? And I'll put some more tracks in. Now I'll put this one in. Then so I can mute any track I want to mute, and each track corresponds to the 16 different ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, track 12 when I'm in track mute. And you'll see these little numbers right here below in our window. And you'll see right here 1 through 12. Each one of those little dots represents that track. So I know this is track 1, so I'll put that back in play. I can pick the ones I want to put back in play, and now they're all going to play. And this goes in sync and corresponds to our pads, see? So if we have 40 different tracks, then D would have the rest of those tracks. Next we have our status button. This is a real cool, unique feature. That's the button right there. I'm going to zoom in and press my status button. And you're going to see something here. And see it says wave. Well, it tells you how much memory we have left. This is how much sequence memory we have left. This is our power. Of course, this MPC 500 is the first MPC to run on batteries. And right now I have mine plugged up with my power adapter, and I'm at 12 volts. Now I can unplug my battery. Let me do it right now. Let me just zoom out a little bit here. I'm going to unplug this right here. And the machine's still going. See that? Now look at it now. Look what it says now. See? My battery status is 7.89. 7.81. See? The battery's wearing down there. Don't get it below 6.25. Get a new battery in there so you don't lose any memory, but read the back of your manual to make sure you know what you're doing. Now put the power back in, and now we're back to 12 volts, as you can see right there. We're back to 12 volts. That's our status button. Now I'm going to show you our mode button. This is our mode button right here. Okay? We'll zoom in a little bit so you can see this screen here. Great. Let me make sure we're even. That looks good to me. And now I can press my mode button. And once I press that, it says press pad to select a mode. So right above each pad, in the upper right hand corner, right up here, here, above that pad is a name. And those names correspond to the pages in our mode. So we can go to press mode, we'll press the first button. That's our slider, our Q link. Press mode again, our second button, that's load. Mode again, third button, that's save. So as you can see, we can get around to any mode we like to, but first we press the mode button, then select the pad for it. Next we have our timing correction. I'm going to go here and I'll press this button here for timing correction. And as we showed you earlier how the note repeat works, you can actually check out the timing of anything, of course, that you're going to use for a sequence. Let's say you want to make up a beat and you want to quantize, let's say, to 16th notes or to 16-note triplets, 30-second notes, 30-second note triplets, and off, of course, means no quantize. No matter how you hit it, won't quantize the beat that you're going to put into your sequence. Okay, we've got our quantized device at the 8th notes. We can tell, see, I'm triggering the sound there. It's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 4. And so I'm going to go here and I'm going to give myself a tempo first of all. I'll hold the tempo button down, and then I want to change my tempo. I may go to a tempo I like the best. Let's see, I might go to let's try 85. That's good. Now my tempo's 85. And I'm on sequence 10. Make sure I'm in track 1. Yep, track 1. And then I also want to press program and make sure I have the right program. I'm going to use the CDS program, which is our demo program on our MPC. Then I'll go back to pressing the sequence button. I'm going to press record and play start. 2, 3, 4. See? It's not playing back what I played. That's because the quantized value or the timing correction is off. And I'm going to use it in, let's try this one. This is eighth note triplets. See, it's not playing the way I played it. So, I'll try a new quantized value. And now, I'll press record and play again. See, that's not playing the right way. Now we'll try it like this. See, that's not playing the right way. So you gotta get the right quantized value whenever you're gonna try and sequence a pattern. So, it's important for you to get the right quantized. Now, I'll make the right quantized value now. Now, watch how I'll do this. Go back and go 16th, 2, 3, 4. And that fits that quantized value of 16th notes. So it's important you to understand what the timing correction can do to help you make your beat in sync. Okay, next thing I want to explain right here we're going to do is we're going to deal with our metronome. This is pretty simple. We'll press metronome. Let me zoom in here a little bit. We can get an idea what we're doing. And I press, that means in play. I'll press play start. And we can hear that click. 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. The strongest click is on the first downbeat. I'll turn this to no. I press play start and we don't hear the click anymore. So this is set a metronome up so you can use it to guide yourself along with the tempo when making up a beat. I put it back on again, but let's turn this wheel. It's on, it's off. Now you can also do this for record. We got our rate. I can make it either quarter notes, quarter note triplets, eighth note triplets, 16th note triplets, 32nd note triplets, and those are all the quantized values. See that? Now our next button, which is right here, this is our numeric button. Now by pressing this down, I can hit the pads that have numbers selected in the immediate right-hand corner of each button is a number. And that's what those numbers correspond to. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's 0. All right, next we're going to go over our sequence, track, and parameters buttons right here. Now what we can do here, we can actually press sequence. And I'll zoom in. You can see sequence right there. The sequence is chosen. See, it says sequence 90. I can press the numeric pad and press, let's go to 1, 0. And now I'm in sequence 10. See that? So now I'm in sequence 10. Now I can also press the parameters button, and it gives me these settings I can use to set up my sequence. I can use, of course, that's the default. But here we're going to go back to the top of this menu, and we have our sequence loop. This means we start in the first bar, it loops back to the last bar of that sequence. So if the sequence is 2 bars long, it'll loop back to 1. If it's 20 bars long, it'll play for the full 20 bars and loop back to the first sequence. We can have it on and off, of course. And we can also go to here our sequence length. We can have a length and say, well, I want it to be longer. I want the sequence to be 4 bars. And then once that happens, you'll notice that you can go right here to the right-hand corner of MPC, and that's lit up right there. See that? I'm going to press this button right here. And that means do it. And now my sequence is going to be, check this out, go to sequence, and my sequence now is 4 bars. Now I can tell, zoom back out again, I can go to the next bar right here, locator bar. See, I'll press that button, now watch this. I'll zoom back in again. And then we got 3, 4, see that? That's where it goes. That means, now 5-1 means there would be something there, but it's not. It's going to play the 4, and that's the end of 4, going right back to 1 again, top bar. I'll press my sequence button again, I'll press my parameters, and now I'll move the cursor back up here to the sequence length. We have our time signature. Let's keep this 4-4 here. We have the sequence name. We can name our sequence. We can copy a sequence. See that? We can delete a sequence. We have our user default. And we can also memorize this sequence. So you can memorize this sequence and use it again someplace else. You may want to take a sequence and keep part of it and then use the rest of it maybe for a bridge or something. It's always cool for that feature. Next, we're going to cover our track button. In the same way, we'll press track. Then we'll have the track screen appear in front of us, our display. And now you see we're track 1. If I press sequence, we're in sequence 10. Press track, we're track 1 in sequence 10. I'll press parameters, and now it'll give me the parameters for my track. You know, these sequences. Look at this one sequence. All these tracks. So this one track here, I can have a particular program, which the program contains the samples or the sounds that we use in this track. And we can select different programs. Move the cursor down, move it over to here, and we can select whatever programs are in the MPC. So here we're using that program. And we can have up to, oh, look at that. We can have up to 40 different programs. Move back to the top again. We have track mute. Of course, that's pretty simple. We can mute a track off or on. That means turn that track off in that selection. We have the MIDI channel for using MIDI with a keyboard, which we'll use later on. We'll sync a MIDI cable up and use our MIDI input. We have track type, which means it could be drum or MIDI. Always make sure you select this to be a MIDI track, otherwise you'll trigger sounds when playing the keyboard. You'll trigger sounds on your MPC at the same time also. And next we got here, hit that pad there. Oh, here we go. We have track name. We can name the track, we can copy the track, we can delete that track, and we have our default name. So here you can put down whatever, let's see what kind of song you may, okay, well, whatever default name want this to be. It could be, you know, whatever, track, or let's say part 1, part 2, part 3. By making this default though, everything will be named, you know, part 1, part 2, part 3, or track 1, track 2 or 3, whatever the default value is set here. Now we have here our other button here on the end. We have, after our parameters, is our erase button, or we have this undo button. So I have a beat going here. We'll say, go back to my sequence. I'll put a hi-hat in there. So first I'm gonna go here to quantize value. I'm gonna make sure I'm set to 16th notes. That's 1/16. Okay, and I'll go back to the sequence screen again. And I want to go to new track. So I'll press track, and I'll move my track to track 2. And this track will have my hi-hats. See that? So now, listen back. Top. And so I put some hi-hats on. Now if I don't want those, I can press my undo button. And now as you see, I press the undo button, this button started to blink. So I press the top again. So it's blinking. Let's go press undo. Do it now. The hi-hats are missing. I did that. Now when I press stop, I'll press the undo and I'll do press again. Okay. And now the hi-hats are back. So the undo button lets us undo and redo stuff. That way we can hear it back. Well, I'm not too sure how that sounds. How's that sound? I'm not too sure. Let's hear it back. You can also do this. You can press, say, I'll press overdub start play here. I'll hold this down. And I'm erasing that part out. See that? So I held down the erase button while it played. I was in overdub Of course, you can see all record. You can do the same thing. I'll hold this down and hold the pad down. It erases the parts I want to erase in that sequence for that particular sound. Now here we have our play start. That plays from the start of the sequence. Play will play from where we left off at. See that? Now we have our play start. We've got our record. We've got our overdub button. We've got our stop, everything, and we've got our play. It's going to play where we are. It's play. It's getting play. We want to pick it from where we are. We may have a lot of sequences. Let's take it from sequence 32. Let's move it there and play. So right now, I can start from the top of a sequence. I'll press record and play when I want to start out doing something brand new on that particular sequence in this track, though, that particular track in the sequence. Remember that. I can actually overdub. So, for example, I'll go to here and I'll press play. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'll press back. I think I want to add some more of those highs in the beginning. I'll press overdub, and then I'll press the right here, the play start. Now press play so I can hear it back. So you can see we can actually overdub on top of that particular part in that sequence. But I always prefer to make each track its own part. Everything has its own track. It makes it much easier to mix, and you can hear certain items back. It makes it much more fun. Of course, we have stop, and we've got play also. Now, here we have our Q-Link section. So our Q-Link section, we can set certain parameters for this Q-Link knob, like the volume, the tuning, the VLO, the LFO. Set those parameters right here on our MPC 500, and we can turn them off or turn them in sync. We'll cover this a little bit more later on when we make our first sequence up. Here we have our record gain. Gets the record volume into our MPC 500, and here we have our main volume right there. Tell me you can see this better. This is our main volume right there. Okay? Let's check the back of the machine out now. Okay, it's time for me to start doing a sequence. I'm going to press my sequence button, and right now I have my sequence in my window right here. Let me reach back here. And there we go. We're going to be in sequence number 8 right here, okay? Now, I want to make sure my tracks are set to what I want to set up for my particular sequence. I'll press the track button, and now we're in the track view. Here we have A1, we have track number 1. I'm going to now press params, and right there I've got my MIDI. So I got MIDI off in this track. My program, I'm going to set a program for this particular track. So here, move my cursor over, and I want to use this. Go back. Use that for that particular track right there. Okay, that's the program I want to use. Next, track mute. Not using track mute at all. MIDI channel, none needed at all. The drum track, meaning that we're using the drum pads for this track, and a track name. Now I can put a name in. It's always important to sort of name all your tracks when doing this. Now each pad also corresponds to a particular letter in the alphabet. Now here, I'll put down and say kick. So I can read this right. Okay. Go to my next pad. Move it back again. So make sure you get it right. So move the cursor over, and it should be an I. See that? This would be a C. Let's hit the next pad. I'll give you the next actual space. Now I'll put the K at the end. Now I'll move my cursor button, move it over there. I'll press shift down and hit my left cursor. And I can delete these tracks. The name's right there. Delete them. If I'd like to. I'll press do it, and there you go. I got kick 0A1. Now, I'm going to move the cursor back at the top, And now I have name, of course, name of the track. We can copy the track, delete the track, we know that already. So let's go back to sequence. And now it's the first track here. I'll put the track, and that's what that track is. Now, let's play a little bit. I'll make a little beat up here. I'll try that beat. Okay. So now I'll press record and play start. Get my first 4 clicks, then I'll start making the beat up. But wait a minute. I'll make sure I have the right sequence length. Let's press sequence again, go to parameters, and now I'll do what we did before. We want to go back and make our sequence length the right amount. Okay, so now it's 4 bars, good, we like it. Good, we press do it, and we're in there. Now, back to our sequence here. And now, I'll make the beat up. 2, 2, 3, 4. So I got my beat going. It's pretty good there. I like that. What I'm going to do here, though, I'm going to take out the hi-hat. So I'm going to go ahead and press erase, and I'll select the hi-hat. So I want to make sure I erase this hi-hat. So I'm going to go here. I'll press overdub while it's in play mode. See that? Then I'll hold the erase button down, and I can get rid of that actual track. Let me try it again. Okay, we're in sync. It sounds good. Now, I'll go back to my sequence. Go to track now. I want to go to track number 2. And this track, I want to make it my hi-hat. Okay, I'm going to go to track data again, press parameters. I want to make sure that this track is not a MIDI track, and there's a drum track, it's perfect. Now I go back here to my track, and I'll put a hi-hats in. See, I put the hi-hat in there, but you know it's going up and down really softly. I want to do my full level. It's important to have everything the same level on that particular track. That way, if you're going to be at the same level, every sound will sound the same way. It'll hit all the same way each time. Okay? We go back to sequence now. I'll press record and play. Now I'm record this one. They're all hitting the same level now. See how loud it sounds? They're all the same level. That sounds good. Well, now, I want to add something else to the track. Okay, here I've got a new track set up here. This is going to be track number 3. And track number 3, I'm going to go to program here. I'm in that track, and I'll press parameters and move the cursor up. And now you see I'm looking for the parameters here. I'm going to use this called DJ Hipset. That's in our MPC 500. It comes with it. I'm going to use that for track number 3. It's going to be the program I'm going to use assigned to that track. Now I go back to the track button, and I have this. Let's try that. 1, 2. So next, before I use these sounds, I want to make sure my levels are not going to be too loud. So I'm going to press mode, and I'll press program. Now here in mode, I press program. I'm at the page that says here, sample level. See that? Sample level right there. And now I'll hit the pad. I'm going to bring it down so I keep them all the same level. going to bring this down to 75 also, because I'm good to go. Now, I'll zoom back and I'll start playing my sequence. I'll go back to here, and we'll press track. And I want to go to here and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. Try again. 1. Back to here. Okay, now I got the right track selected. I'll press record and play. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got my little sample going on my beat. So my beat's loud enough because I turned my actual horn samples down along with this beat I made up. Okay, now we're going to add some MIDI keyboards. Now we've got our MIDI cables hooked up, as we already know right there. And I got my MIDI cables in the back of my machine right here. See it right there? Now this is the MIDI in. So this goes into the output of my keyboard. And this is the MIDI out, this cable right here. And this one gets the MIDI out of here into the keyboard. You got that? Okay, so we're sending MIDI back and forth between our MPC, and today's we're using a Korg Triton. Okay, now we'll set this track up for MIDI. Here's how we'll do that. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Good, that's a good view. And now I'm going to press parameters. I'm in track mode. And I'll turn my data wheel. I'm here at MIDI. I'll select the MIDI track. But I want to be in a different track. I'm being track 4, right? Exactly. We just put that thing on the track 3, the horns. Now track 4, we got MIDI channel 1 set up to go. Here's MIDI channel 1. We're set to go. Next. We got track mute. We're ready to go here. Make sure nothing's going on. And turn the programmer. We don't want to program on track 4. See? So we're at track 4. We don't want to program. So let's go to here. And there's no program on track 4. That means we don't have any sounds to trigger on our MPC. Now, we're set to go. Okay, now we're ready. We've got our sequence here, which is sequence number 8. And next I'll press the track button. And now we're at track number 4. I can press the parameters button. And now, as you can see, I've already set up for the mute track number 4. See that? It's on off. And I can turn the data wheel here. And we've got no program assigned there. So that means hitting a pad will not trigger any sounds. Okay? And we're set for MIDI channel 1. Cool. And then right over here, we've got Dave. He's going to play our keyboards for us. Alrighty, so here we go. Zoom in here. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to sequence. I'm going to start from the first bar, so I'll press play start. But I'm going to record Dave, so I'm going to press record, then play start, and get a metronome to go from beginning. Give me 4 clicks and I'm in. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, let's do that again, Dave.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go. Okay, now it's recorded here. I can even go to track mute. See that? I know it's recording here. I put the drums in. sometimes you may want to lower the sound, sometimes some instruments. So when using a keyboard, you want to lower your sound using the keyboard itself with our MPC 500. So we go to the keyboard and lower that sound. But right now we're recording a new sound. So now I'm going to go to the sequence button. And first I'm going to go back to my mute and put all my tracks in. See, they're all in now. There's no mutes left. And next, I'm going to go here and I'm going to select sequence. Now I'm in sequence track, and I want to go to a new track. I'm going to go to track number 5. It's my new track, and I'll set this one up with the same. I'm going to press track, I'll press params, and now I can set my track type. This is going to be MIDI. I'm on MIDI channel 2, and track mute is off, and we have program assigned. We have no program here. So we're going to use this is a MIDI track. End. Now, I'm going to go press sequence here again, and now I'm on track 5. I'm going to have Dave play a little bass line to go along with this. All right, Dave, you got a bass line?
Yes.
All right, we got a bass line going on. So now I'm ready to record over here. I can go record and play, and then Dave will play that part for me. So I'll press record and play. Start. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, Dave. Now I can go to mute again. See? Just a kick, and I go here. Just the bass line. Now I put the keyboards in. Turn it off and on. And that's how cool. That sounds pretty cool. That's how you can use your MPC 500 along with a MIDI keyboard. And we can keep adding more tracks and more tracks. Okay, I want to do a new track. We're going to go here to track number 6. That's track number 6 right there. Now I'm going to press parameters. And now, this has already been assigned something in the program right there. See that? And that says CDS. That's the sounds we get in the program we get in our demo. So I'm going to turn this off. See, that's off like that. And next, I'm going to go to the next page. Cursor up and turn the data wheel. Track mute's off. That's good. MIDI track. This will be MIDI channel 3. Good. And this type of track, of course, is going to be what, guys? You know, a MIDI track. We're using the keyboards. You can always name a track, make sure you do. In this case, we won't. We're just going to get ready to start recording something new. Now, that's been set up now. I'm going to go back to pressing track. And I'm back in the track mode. And so next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to play a new part. Okay, now I'm going to record a new part. Here we go. Stop. That's good. Whoa, here it is. Now I'm going to track mute again. Now, I can turn the metronome. I can go back here to metronome. I can move the cursor back up. And now, you want to make sure that's in recorder. Let's see here. It says record. And play, it says yes. I'll turn that off. And now it says no. I go back to my track mute. That's the part we just played. some stuff in again. I'll put the piano back in. Okay, that part sounds good. Now I always do this to test to make sure my parts sound good. I'll stop it and I go right to my track mute to get an idea how the part sounds by itself and how it sounds with the other instruments. Let's add some strings now. We're almost done. Okay, we set this track up the same way. And now we're going to record some strings in here. And let's see if Dave's ready. I'll press record and play. Start. I'll press it here and then press there. 2, 3, go. Okay, let's try it. Now watch this. I can do this here again. I don't like that. I can go here and press undo. And now this light blinks right there. See that? And next I can say do it. Now play from the top. No more strings, right? Now let me start again. I may want to hear it. Let me try it again. Let me go back to undo. And now, look at this. That says redo. Right? And so now I press yes, do it. And now, I don't like those strings. Let's do it again. Okay. Keep it a little simple, Dave. All right. So now I'm going to press record and play. 1, 2, 3, go. See how that sounds? I like that. Now, I can go back to my mute again. Strings are there. So now, as you can see, when we're in track mute, we can mute stuff in and out. And as we showed you before, the M stands for mute. I can press play. Okay, next, so I've got this beat. But you know, I want to save. It's important to save your data. The minute you get through doing something and you like it, save it. Now here's what I normally do. I'll take this machine up here, for example, and I've got a card right here. See this card? I've got my memory card right there. Pop that in there. I'm good to go. Okay, I got a new memory card in there. Put this down so we can see it. That's good. And now, I want to format that card. I'll press mode, and I'll press save. Then it says save entire memory. I'll move the cursor over. Let me show you this. This is real important. You can see right there, it says save entire memory, right? I'll turn this data wheel. We have load, save, delete, USB, and we have format. I want to format this card. See that? I can format. Now to press format, as you can see, the light's blinking. So now I can format the card. And now it says, do it. Will erase all files on the compact flash, which is CF. I'll press do it. There's this button right over here. And now it says formatting. And the formatting's complete. It's done. That fast it does it. That's pretty cool. So now I formatted my compact flash card, and it's ready now to save the data from my MPC 500. So the first thing I'm going to do here, let me pull back here a little bit, get a good view. I'm going to go back to sequence. I got my song, that's good. I know where I'm at. So now I'm going to move up closer. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save it. I'll press the mode button. I'll press the bottom pad, which says save. And I want to save the entire project memory. You can get there, because it's the first part you'll see. And save, you move the cursor over to here. And then I could select, and it says here, entire memory. That means project. Or I could save it all to my auto load. Now I use auto load sometimes. I have enough sample space and it'll fit into my auto load. That way when I come back, my machine will automatically load up with the same sequences I had in there originally. So that means that I could continue where I left off at. Once the machine comes on, it'll automatically load that stuff, but it'll load it from the flash memory inside the machine, not from the compact flash. Okay, great, but I want to do it in my compact flash. So I'm going to save project, and now I'll press do it. Save to, save the file. Project name, project 1. Yes. And now it's saving everything. See that? Saving all the samples, it's saving everything. It's saving everything in the machine now onto my compact flash card. So it's saving the entire memory. This is how you can save everything all at once. Now you can also save just a sequence. You can save just certain samples, or all the samples, or all your songs and your sequences. It says saved, and that was it. You saw that? And we're done. Now you can also go to here, once you're done, and you can load it back in if you'd like to. But let me show you something else out. You can actually save the program. Let's find a program you want to save. Pick the program you want to save, and you can save it. Pick any program, you can save it. Move the cursor up again. I can also save a sample. I can pick any sample I want and save that one sample. I can save a sequence, any sequence. I can save all sequences and songs. See that? I can save entire memory, and of course, I can save to internal, see? I can pick what I want to save to internal. I can save all the songs, all the programs and samples to my internal memory, which is the internal flash memory inside the MPC 500. It's very simple. Just follow the same procedure I just did. Go to that save page, press do it, and then press do it again when you're actually doing entire memory, and it'll select the project, give it a project name, everything else, and you can load it and save it all on your compact flash card. Now, once you've got your tracks together, so now I can adjust my levels. So I got my levels here. Now here's how I can adjust my levels. I'll press mode and then press program. If you hit a pad, you will see the information that you need. This is levels right here, and this is the panning of that particular sound, whether left to right or in the middle. And this represents the pad bank, that A there. So I've got this kick drum. I can lower it or raise it. Got these hi-hats. Now check this out. My hi-hats there are at 60. See that? My snares are 85. My kick drum's at 100. So I've set levels for my sounds already in my MPC. It's important to get the right balance of sounds too. So when you save your data, it will save this program information also. And this way I can adjust my sounds in the mix. I'll press play here. Now I may want to adjust the level of those horn sounds. So I'll take each sample and lower its level down. Now I'll play the beat. Now I want to get a little lower now. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now I've got my samples down a level I like. Then I can bring my keyboards in and adjust my volume here. I can press here. Turn my keyboards up. And it's kind of cool, see? And we get our levels right and make sure we got something going on. It's kind of cool. Now we got one mistake, we're gonna get rid of that right now. Okay, now we've got everything going on right. Now I can actually go back to my track here. I'm in mute, track mute. I'm muting stuff in and out, see how it sounds, of course. Now I'll take the strings out, which are right here. Put a little guitar part in. Just like mixing my tracks up, get an idea of what I like and what I don't like. So now I got some sort of really cool balance I like between my keyboard tracks or the MIDI tracks I used and my MPC 500 sounds.